What if a sleek, super modern techno thriller, the kind about surveillance, power, and control, was actually just a retelling of one of our oldest myths? What if the guys in $1,000 suits pulling all the strings were just new versions of, say, ancient celestial beings? Well, those are the exact questions at the very heart of the fascinating, interconnected world created by author Samson Joseph.
Right off the bat, we get this. It's not romance, it's clarity. This one cold, precise line just drops us right into the world of the dating transactions, where you realize pretty quickly that every single interaction is just a calculated move on a much, much bigger board.
And this world, wow, it is meticulously built. It's a place of shimmering glass towers, unspoken rules, and just immense power. It's set against the backdrop of these global cities, London, Dubai, Lagos. Here, everything and everyone has a price. And clarity? Well, that's the most expensive thing you can buy.
The whole world is built on these sharp, evocative little details. Our main character, Cassandra Banks, wears perfume that smells of confidence on credit. You can immediately feel the performance, right? The pressure to belong in a world you can't quite afford.
The bars she goes to are described as being bathed in honey light and hush money. I mean, what a phrase. It just brilliantly captures both the seductive glamour and the corrupt silence that holds this whole high-stake environment together. Even the spaces themselves have a certain atmosphere. Penthouses have air that smells expensive. It's this intangible signal that tells you you've entered a completely different realm, a place where the normal rules just don't apply.
So who are the players in this little game? First up, there's Cassandra Banks. She's just looking for options after a layoff. Then we meet Dapo Olatunji, a man with so much power he communicates with the emotionless precision of a calendar invite. Their arrangement? Not a relationship. It's a contract, and it's all governed by what he calls alignment, not ownership.
But yeah, as you can probably guess, this promised world of clarity, it comes at a very steep price. It demands absolute obedience, constant observation, and ultimately a total loss of self. Cassandra learns fast that she isn't just in a relationship, she's in a controlled experiment.
And get this, the control isn't just coming from one man, but a trinity of them. First, there's Dapo, the architect in London, offering structure. Then you have Bilal in Dubai, the tempter, offering a different kind of deal, one based on choice. And finally, there's Marcus in Soho, the producer, who eventually reveals that the other two are just part of an illusion he helps create.
And this is the moment the floor just completely drops out from under Cassandra. Marcus reveals the shocking truth. Her entire journey, every choice she made, every conversation she had, it was all documented. She was never a participant. She was the subject.
This little note, found in a secret project file, it blows the whole thing wide open. It was never about money or companionship. The whole thing is a test. The question is, can a person reclaim control of their own story once they realize they're trapped inside someone else's? If she learns authorship, how to write her own story, the whole system is designed to just terminate the loop.
Okay, so here's where we pivot hard. We've been breaking down this very modern thriller about data, surveillance, and psychological control. But what if this entire structure, this trinity of powerful men offering forbidden knowledge and control, what if it isn't new at all? What if it's a blueprint from something much, much older? So look at this. On the left, you see the world we've just been in. Cold, corporate, technological. On the right, something else entirely. It's cosmic, mythic, ancient. This is the cover of another book by the very same author called The Melanin Paradigm. I mean, they look like they're from completely different universes, but are they?
This second book, which has the wild subtitle Forbidden Genetics, Fallen Angels, and the African Genesis, is described as a work of speculative theology. It dives headfirst into the intersection of science and mythology, and it proposes a kind of ancient blueprint for the entire human story.
So, what exactly is the Melanin Paradigm? Well, the book defines it as a synthesis of genetics, geometry, and global myth. It's this huge philosophical exploration that asks a simple question. What if our most ancient stories and our most cutting-edge scientific discoveries are actually pointing to the exact same truths about who we are?
The book's core argument really boils down to three big ideas. First, the blueprint. It starts with the scientific fact of a common African origin for all of us. Second, the Watchers. It links this science to ancient myths of celestial beings who came down with forbidden knowledge. And third,
the hybrid. It proposes that these myths are actually metaphors for what happens when our knowledge grows way faster than our wisdom.
And this brings us right back to our techno-thriller. Because if the ancient myths had these watchers, well, then our modern world has them too. They just wear different clothes and use different tools.
I mean, think about it for a second. The Watchers of Myth brought knowledge like metallurgy and astronomy. The Trinity and the Thriller, they bring data, surveillance, and psychological manipulation. Both are forms of forbidden knowledge, right? They offer power, but they threaten to trap us in a loop of control. Dapo, Bilal, and Marcus, they are the modern Watchers.
So how on earth can these two radically different books, a thriller and a work of speculative theology, be telling the same story? It's because they come from the singular vision of one author. Meet Samson Joseph. He's a British-Nigerian writer whose work is completely obsessed with this central idea, how power shifts when observation becomes currency. So whether it's ancient beings watching humanity from above or modern billionaires watching one woman through a camera, the core questions are the same. Who is writing the story, and can the subject of the story ever truly claim authorship for themselves?
And Joseph's work leaves all of us with this really unsettling question. In a world where every click, every view, every single choice is logged and analyzed, we are all, in a sense, subjects in a massive experiment. We are all living inside a loop. The only question is whether we're aware of it.
And that brings us to the teaser for the sequel too, the dating transactions. This final thought, it just leaves you hanging. It suggests that finding out you're in a system of control isn't the end of the story. No, the real challenge, the real fight for authorship is about what you do next. It's about surviving the truth,